The discovery of an abnormal-looking cat in the cellar changes this couple's life forever. Ever thought what would happen to your pet once you turn old? Who will take care of it? Imagine the old age makes you forget about your dear four-legged buddy. Scared? Of course, anyone would be. None of us want to face reality and reach that stage of life. Almost each one of us fears the nearing of old age. Aging comes as a challenge in our lives. It becomes even tough for the people who fall prey to it in an instant. Not only grooming and self-care gets difficult, but caring for your family and friends also becomes strenuous. And this makes us completely forget about our beloved pets. But this one would want you to turn old. Not for yourself, but for a happening future of your pet. Keep watching to find out what a beautiful journey this cat had. An 82-year-old man living in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was living there alone and had no family members to look after him. With his age, it was getting difficult for him to look after himself, and the situation worsened when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Things became tough on his end. It was then when one of his relatives named Paul Russell, living in Churchill, Pennsylvania, helped the old man to shift to an assisted living. Russell was convinced that at this stage of his life, the man could not be left alone. He needed medical assistance 24/7, so shifting him was the only option left. In Russell's words, the old man doesn't know anybody anymore, and the man was shifted to his new home. Paul suddenly recalls that he owned a cat as well, but where was she? She couldn't be located in the house. Paul decides to revisit his relative's home to find her. Paul remembers playing with a Siamese cat at his relative's place, the cat named Siam. Paul carries some supper for the kitty until he figures out what he'll do with her. While he was making a move towards the house, someone mentioned to him that the old man owns a second cat as well. Russell decides to have a closer look at the place to find both cats. He wasn't aware of his relative owning another pet. Well, what he finds next was something he must not have been prepared for. On entering the house, Paul could easily locate Siam in the backyard. While he was feeding her, he heard a strange sound, similar to that of a big thing darting against something. He was sure that it was the second cat hiding from him out of fear. He looks inside the house to locate the cat. What he sees next was quite horrifying. What did he see? Paul comes closer to see what exactly it was. He uses a flashlight to figure out the sound. He reaches to the old creepy cellar. The house had no signs of electricity. It was all vacuum and sounds of Paul's heart beating faster. He wasn't sure as to what exactly he was looking for. It appeared to be something like that of a horror scene. Though Paul had no intentions to scare the little being, he already had. Finally, he could locate the second creature. At the instant, it scared him. Paul says it was covered with some blanket maybe. It had something wrapped around it. Paul offered some food to the animal. As he smelled it, he came close to him. As the pet approached him, Paul was almost frightened to death. Was the animal that scary? Paul couldn't believe his eyes. He wasn't sure as if what he saw was a cat or an octopus residing there. Initially, though frightened, Paul gathers courage and caresses the strange animal. The animal shuddered but was later calmed as well. It had long tentacle-like things all over its body. It had a face like that of a cat. Was it an octopusy? Whatever it might have been, but it was quite sure that the old man completely forgot about it. Alzheimer is a destructive disease for anyone to face. It's an irreversible progressive brain disorder where the patient loses his thinking skills and memory. With time, it even becomes challenging for him to carry out his easiest daily chores. Having a pet to look after makes life even tough. Surely the disease made the old man lose sight of the cats. It was a poor cat who had been unkempt, which led to her deteriorating condition. This was Russell's relative's second cat, which the neighbors were talking about. What Paul mistook for a blanket and octopusy was actually the cat's own hair. They'd matted and entangled over the years and appeared like dreadlocks. It was quite conclusive that the old man, due to his disease, had absolutely lost track of this calico cat. Paul felt pity towards the creature. Her condition bothered him. She appeared to be overweight and seemed to be in a lot of pain. Paul and his wife Jill were sensitive to these beings. They were compassionate towards her and wanted to help her. They decided to name the cat Heidi and consult a veterinary physician for both the cats. The cats were scared of the new caretakers. Siam, however, adapted quickly to his new environment, but Heidi would run away. She would be hiding under the beds and in the corners. It was quite evident that the cat was in a lot of pain and was traumatized. Paul and Jill paid special attention to Heidi. They couldn't wait to help the being and get her out of pain. Once they were able to gain the cat's trust, they took the cats to the Animal Rescue League and Wildlife Shelter in Pittsburgh. The vet was too tense to see such a condition of the cat. He pointed out that the cats might be 17 to 18 years old. Siam just needed a regular healthcare treatment, but Heidi, her condition was worsening. The poor cat's hair was entangled to an extreme extent. They've turned into long dreadlocks of approximately 8 inches in length. The vet and his team had to search online for a treatment, as they never witnessed such a case. Even after extensive research, they couldn't find a case similar to this. Now they only relied upon their knowledge to find a cure for this helpless cat. After trusting their instincts, the physicians came up with a solution. They decided to shave off the cat's hair. Heidi was given general anesthesia to make sure that the vet could shave off the dreadlocks without harming the pitiable being. It took quite a few hours to get the cat out of her abhorrent appearance. The cat had accumulated nearly 2 pounds of dreadlocks. It was shocking to everyone around. The cat was already overweight, and these locks made her condition even worse. But how did she grow her hair this long? Cats are self-groomers. They love pampering themselves. Not only do they enjoy brushing themselves up, but they would also ask their owners to do so. Then, why did Heidi not do this? As per the vets, the cat's grooming has a lot to do with their weight. As Heidi was quite overweight, she couldn't manage to care for herself. The hair which she shed had nowhere to go, and they braided together into dreadlocks. Not only are the cats responsible for their grooming, but we as owners also need to take care of them, just like we enjoy pampering ourselves. Our pets also enjoy that. Since Heidi was obese, she couldn't take care of herself. Unfortunately, her owner also fell prey to Alzheimer's. The man, who could barely remember his own name, couldn't be asked for anything more. After getting the cats treated and vaccinated, Paul and Jill decided to adopt these cats. They brought the new members to their home, which was already the home to 3 cats and 2 dogs. Siam and Heidi took a little time to adapt to their new home. Initially, Siam would run away from her siblings, but with time she started enjoying in the cozy and warm atmosphere. However, Heidi was still scared. It was quite tough for Heidi to manage life without the overgrown fur. She was so used to those dreadlocks that she felt something missing. Heidi did not enjoy people caressing her. She'd run away from everyone. However, her bond with Jill strengthened over time. Jill was amazed at her progress, and she was sure that Heidi would soon love everyone else. After receiving an abundance of love and care, Heidi started living a happy life. Russell showered their love for the cat. They dressed her in clothes and hats. She would now know her kitty antics. Earlier, she was supposed to be dragged out of bed, but now she would herself come out to gain some attention. She'd run around the house and play with her siblings. She started with her mischiefs as well. You won't be surprised to find her in your blankets. As soon as the cat got her makeover, the Animal Rescue Center flooded their website with her story. Her transformation from shabby, helpless, unkempt cat to a gorgeous calico gained a lot of attention. Her pictures with her new owners and family caught all the eyes. Heidi was portrayed wearing tiaras, dressed in little frocks, and a lot more. Her cute sight became the talk of the town. Russells and Heidi were now recognized everywhere they went. TV stations, websites, and news reporters approached the Russells for interactive sessions. Everyone wanted to broadcast the family, which fed almost 6 pets. The Russells were praised for their heart being sensitive to these mute creatures. If they wished, they could have disowned the shabby and dreadful-looking cat, but no, they decided to give her a beautiful transformation. Getting her rid of those dreadlocks was the best decision they could have made. There were all sorts of reactions to Heidi's makeover journey. While some could not stop admiring the cute cat, there were some who could not stop appreciating the Russells. The media was captured with different reactions. Some people said the images of the dreadlock cat were fake, while some would term the cat as sick. There were many who blamed the old man for the cat's pitiful condition. What would have been your take on that? People were outraged by the viral cat's photos. No one was ready to believe that the cat actually had 2 pounds of dreadlocks over her. People couldn't wrap their heads around the fact that cats could stop grooming themselves. Some people thought to name the photos fake was the best option. However, the Animal Rescue Center immediately reverted to those comments and said such a condition can be possible in real life as well if one stops grooming their pets on time. There was also a part of the population, like that of Wanda Bailey, who was genuinely concerned about the cat's health. They raised their inquisitiveness about the formation of dreadlocks and self-grooming consequences. Health issues can make daily chores difficult, not only for humans but also for all other creatures on the planet. Keep watching to see how these mute creatures of God make a difference in our lives, especially when we turn old. Among the criticizers, there were a handful of people who were outraged at the elder man. They didn't read the entire story, stating that the old man was a patient of Alzheimer's and just showed their anger towards him. People termed the sight as sickening, terrible, and disgusting. There was a lot of criticism, but the Animal Research Center clarified all their doubts. In December 2016, one of the team members from the Animal Rescue Team posted an emotional letter on Facebook where he talked about Heidi's condition, and it followed consequences. Also, he made a special mention of the elderly citizens in that post. He shared his views about the plight of ignored elder family members and neglected pets. He used Heidi's incident to make others aware of the situation and even motivate them to come forward and help these beings. Heidi's condition was so unusual that even the internet couldn't serve a solution for it, but it became a medium to help out other pets who were in need. How? The Animal Rescue League Shelter and Wildlife Center started a fund to support the animals which were in pain and those who could no longer be taken care of by their owners due to their approaching old age and health consequences. The program initially tried educating the people about the following concerns relating to the relationship between pets and humans and grooming tips for pets. Pets are the most loyal friends of ours. No matter what happens, they'd always stick by us. Their cute little pet licks are enough to relieve our tensions and stress. No doubts as to why they're termed as an old man's best friend. Since our four-legged partners live in the present, they're always jolly and fun to be around. This makes elderly people also active and persuades them to live in the present. Old age is a phase where our children are busy with their lives and making a living. This is a time when the elders feel neglected. The much-needed care and love of their children and what they get from the family pets. The pets have a positive effect on the memory of a human. Studies show that pets can help you with long-term memory, and for patients of Alzheimer's, they're saviors. Also, cuddling and running after your dogs and cats is associated with a healthy heart. Animals have a healing effect on elders as they keep them happy all the time. While they're the best companions, there are certain considerations which elderly pet owners must take care of. A middle-aged pet is a good choice for healthy elders. The pet won't be as energetic as a puppy and won't even crave the attention of their owners. Cats are more suitable for physically challenged elders as they don't demand that much care which a dog would do. However, the elders need to be pet-friendly to love one at this phase. Now, most have us brushed our teeth with the fact that cats are self-groomers. Agreed, yes they are. But this doesn't mean that they don't need care from their parents. A cat, however, might well groom herself but demands human grooming them too. As evident from the case of Heidi, cats, or let's say pets with long fur and hair, need special care. Regular brushing and combing of the pet's fur is a must. One may consult a vet for chopping and trimming the long fur of these animals to avoid hurting them. For grooming your cat, always use the appropriate tools. A wire brush, undercoat comb, and a flea comb are the most suitable ones. Use a wide comb in case your cat's shedding off her hair due to seasonal changes. Always start with a wide comb first, followed by a brush and then the undercoat. Detangle her locks first and then pave your way down to the hair. Sprinkling talcum on your cat's fur can help with combing the knots. You'll also ensure that her hair is detangled. Use your fingers later to comb her hair and undo the knots if any. Detangle her hair by splitting them into various parts. This will ensure painless grooming session for her. If a hair strand is badly entangled, you may need to use scissors. Carefully cut the untidy entangled knot. Make sure you cut away the hair as far as possible to avoid any cuts. Before making a cut, detangle the hair with your fingers to the extent it could be and then chop them off. In severe cases, professional help is recommended. The team at Animal Rescue League Shelter had high hopes attached with this program. They were sure that through this step, Many pets will find new homes, even when their loving owners would not be able to look after them. They'll find a home away from home.